All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Chicago Bears and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. First down throw, Darnold. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Jadeveon Clowney in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks?
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
So a jump there defensively.
Still third down.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
And the penalty helps, but not a whole lot. It's still third and long.
All right, here we go. Blue landing.
Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And that is incomplete.
They could game catch the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. That'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Hurry up, here we go.
On the ground, this is Smith. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A big hitter there, a 1st down gain of 26 yards.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball. And that way, you often control the game.
They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down.
Here we go now. Blue landing.
Off the play fake. McCoy escaping the pressure right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. Brings up 4th down. Solid coverage by the Bears D.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And Butker able to put this one through. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Here's Darnold now on second down. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering what...
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Jadeveon Clowney in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
They'll look to set up his blockers. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams, they're not as worried about being number 1. 2 is fine because they feel like they can go on the road and win against number 1 if they absolutely have to. The big thing, though, is clinching one of those early buys and able to sit and get a little rest as the playoffs begin.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. And they better put that ball to the side because with that catch, he's a new single-season receiving yards record holder.
What a fantastic year. And we saw it start early, didn't we, partner? Right out of the gate, we knew he was going to have a tremendous year, but who knew it would culminate in breaking this all-time record.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
The numbers there in last week's game for Smith. There isn't a coach alive who wouldn't like those numbers. Well over 100 yards and a touchdown, too.
Partner, I think all the coaches who are in that great coaching box in the sky would take those numbers.
So dead or alive?
Either way, they would take that kind of production.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves to James. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. They'll wind up losing a full 10 yards on the play. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
Well, anytime it's a toss or a pitch play, it's a battle for the edges. Who's going to control the edge of the line of scrimmage? In other words, can the defensive guys hold their leverage? What we were always taught was keep your outside arm or outside shoulder free. If you were playing on the play side, meaning the ball coming towards you, and anyone coming from the backside, they're pinching down and sliding down towards it to try and keep people kind of locked into one spot. And boy, what a great defensive play there. Worn out leverage, running to the football from the inside out, turned into a big loss of yardage.
Now let's go.
It's a quarterback sneak. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. It's their quarterback. His 11th touchdown of the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead.
Instead of having to play follow the leader there, the leader led.
I like that. And he likes that, doesn't he? First and goal, let me do the job.
Because you know when he falls into the end zone after falling behind those big guys who pushed up front, that's a pretty good celebration, isn't it?
Gives him a little street cred in the locker room, too, doesn't it?
Street cred, and then when they go out to dinner afterwards, he's still picking up the check.
And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
The numbers for McCaffrey last week. 19 carries, 100 yards on the nose, and a score.
And partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week. It's a pretty good success.
And he is going to go down. They sack him on the final play of the first quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough third and long coming up.
Here we go now.
Darnold from the gun. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defensive player with some confidence, haven't allowed a point yet, flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Green 39.
To throw from his end zone. McCoy. Caught by Nelson left side. He's at the 50. The 30. 10. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. J.J. Nelson, 98 yards. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. And that's the type of play that will give your sideline some juice, a long touchdown pass.
And it's like a bolt of lightning, isn't it? That suddenness of that play brings everyone to their feet in the stadium, and he takes it all the way to the end zone. Give him credit for making that type of a play call, even more credit for how they executed it.
This one taken from the 7th. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet, trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way? And while there is no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity map to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Looking deep here for Ebron. That's caught inside the 20. A huge play there for Chicago. 46 yards. Nothing conservative about that play call. You said earlier in the quarter you wanted to see them open things up, maybe take some shots downfield. There you go.
Yeah, and that one was successful. But even if they're not successful, when you take those shots downfield, they've got to back off a little bit, loosen up a little bit on defense, and give you a little bit more room if you want to run the football.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
McCaffrey following the penalty, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Here we go now. Boom, landed.
And we've got movement. I think this is against the Bears here. Let's find out.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
So from the 2, now they move back to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Now it's Darnold. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. A.J. Green with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bears cut into that lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
They keep it with Smith on 1st down. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They'll run with Smith. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
On 3rd down, Smith. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards that time and a Pittsburgh 1st.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs?
That's a pretty good recipe for success.
Green, 39. Green.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Two minutes to play here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
And room there to work it inside the 25. That 2nd down run, a big help. The 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now.
Well, there's an example of patience being rewarded. Ran the ball on first down and got stuffed. Most people would scream, throw the ball here in this situation. They stayed with their roots, stayed with running the football, and they got rewarded.
And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
He'll get it up the middle, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2nd and goal from the 6 this time. They'll give it to him up the middle. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and goal.
Leopard!
Here's McCoy. The quick slant caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. And welcome back, the offensive unit. They took the timeout. And now they get set to line up as we resume action. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down.
Now let's go. Green, 39. Green.
They'll go with the keeper. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. It's their quarterback as time expires in the first half. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. Big decision there. They say forget the field goal and go for it, and it pays off.
I wonder who was in the ear of the head coach on this one. Did he make this call?
We now proceed to the start of the second half. So we have come upon halftime here in Week 17. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Second half begins with a run by Smith. And he'll get this one up to the 26.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping Those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Space to maneuver at the 40. And now running right through it. And he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 46. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. McCoy. That is incomplete. Corey Davis, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. J.J. Nelson, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors. But that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. This will be fielded at the 6. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Bears offense making their way out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the NFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he could vault himself right into the #1 spot.
It's a gain of 7 on the ground, but they'll be faced with 3rd and long.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold, and this is going to be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. Here's another failure right there on 3rd down.
On now is Mason Crosby, who's hit from as far as 58 in his career. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. The distance was never the question there, but he gets a friendly bounce to carry that thing through the uprights.
Yeah, and when you're trying to hit from 50-plus, you got to expect the ball's going to slide one way or the other. So he's pretty fortunate there. He's able to bank this one in.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
Off play action. McCoy. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
The Steelers on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is going to be 3rd and 13.
Set. Blue 90. Blue 90.
From the gun, McCoy. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first. But at least it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Just a net of 34 there following a punt of 44 yards. And the Bears take over. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll try to get the offense going with Hill. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win 1st down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down.
Set. Blue 90. Blue 90.
On 2nd down, Darnold. And this is caught by Martavis Bryant. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. And it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
To the right side to Eric Ebron. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Back to throw, Darnold. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Here's Darnold. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And they will finally get him down as he's all the way to the 36-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
So from the 36 now, first and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. They'll roll him out right. Uncorks one, and this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. They'll try and sneak it here. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. It's their quarterback scoring on the sneak from a yard out. Then the interception by the Steeler D leads to a touchdown. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jordan Willis in there with pressure yet again. And that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Green with a catch left side. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
First quarter, Charles, you really emphasized the importance of winning the turnover battle as a visiting team, as an underdog. They haven't forced a single turnover in this game.
And right now they're losing, so no turnovers might lead to no victory.
That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A nice gain of 21 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
They go play action here on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. And even 40 yards.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and take the like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Only a yard on the completion. It's second and goal.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. As his guys are in for 6. And the Steelers offense, they continue to pour it on.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's at least
on, like, the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes just out and puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. He's up to 87 yards receiving now, and it's a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it looks like Steeler football. It is.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget. Absolutely. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Back to throw. McCoy. Open man is Westbrook, complete. And he'll have the first down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. First target, first catch, and a first down. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Let's go!
On 1st and 10, McCoy. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a gain of 9 yards. And it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable second and
now,
1.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Onto the field now come the Bears. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
On first down, it's Darnold. Ebron with it over the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? What a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. On first down, Darnold. A dump off now to Hill. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it. And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead. And unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College, not a heck of a lot of fun. I still remember playing and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs, I knew every note to their school's fight song.
Bet that ice bath felt extra cold afterwards, too.
Oh, no, there was no ice bath. You're just trying to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right? And sometimes you don't win all of them, but they may.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A gain of 39 that time.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
But right now, maybe they're just looking at.
And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now, there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense.
Holding. Offense.
So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Let's go. Green 39.
Looking to throw. McCoy. He sets to fire deep. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw. McCoy. It's caught. Nelson. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And they just had another big completion there, and I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the time they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out.
Operating from the gun, McCoy. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? It creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And his kick is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
The goal for them wasn't to simply make the postseason. They wanted to make some noise once they got there. Well, they made the noise all right. They're moving on.
And to get deep into the playoffs, that's everyone's goal ultimately. Now it's a reality for them. Now they've got a chance to get to the ultimate goal.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Steelers are winners as we say so long from Heinz Field.